कट कट के आ रही है.
Okay, I think ये मैंने speaker लगाया हुआ है, so let me speaker. Is it better?
Yes, it is.
You can hear now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's start with today was Sarvabhaum Prabhu's lecture, Srimad Bhagavatam lecture in the morning. And after that, he spoke about Loknath Swami Maharaj, Loknath Goswami Maharaj. Is my voice clear?
Yes, Mataji, it's clear.
Acha, I can't hear you guys. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So, we all know the story of Bakasur, right? Bakasur is Khadiravan mein Krishna had killed Bakasur, the Asur in the form of a baka, a big bird flying. So, Khadiravan forest, the name is taken from Khera. खैरा गांव में खदीरावन एक वन है. और खैरा नाम कैसे पड़ा कि जब ये बकासुर सभी गोपाओं को स्वॉलो कर रहा था, खा रहा था, ब्रजवासी वहां पे पहुंचे और सब चिल्लाना शुरू हो गए, खा रहा है, खा रहा है, you know, so that became खैरा, खैरा गांव. It's after this लीला. So खैरा का मतलब है you know कि एक तो उसको चेज कर रहे हैं, दूसरा खा रहे हैं. तो वहां पे अब एक राधा कृष्ण का मंदिर स्थापित है और एक वहां पे कुंड है, इसको माधुरी कुंड भी कहते हैं, संगम कुंड भी कहते हैं. और लोकनाथ गोस्वामी और भूगर्भ गोस्वामी की वहां पे भजन कुटीर है. भूगर्भ गोस्वामी was his personal servant who decided to be with him and serve him, Loknath Goswami. So इस फॉरेस्ट में ये जो खदीरावन फॉरेस्ट है, this is where Loknath Goswami did his bhajan, and he was a very, very quiet Goswami in the sense he shunned publicity or any kind of public contact, and he was so immersed in his bhajan that nobody would know that such a great Goswami is residing here in this one to do his bhajan. Because वो एकांत में इतना austere bhajan और सतत भजन करते थे that whole place used to get spiritually charged with his bhajan. And he was so humble at the same time that he considered himself unworthy of giving diksha to anyone. So there is a very interesting pastime that Narottam Das Thakur decided when he learned the glories of Loknath Swami Maharaj Goswami that I want to make him my spiritual master, take diksha from him. So he approached him, and Loknath Goswami said that no, I'm not qualified. I don't make any disciples. So you can look for a more worthy spiritual master. And Narottam Das Thakur had already given his heart to the lotus feet of Loknath Swami Maharaj. So he waited. He thought that, let me go back to him again after some time. So he went back after some time, same answer. So he realized that to please anyone or to win anybody's heart, what is the best solution? Or what is the best way? It is to serve that person. Service can break even the heart of a stone. So what he did is he started, he was trying to find out, वो service भी किसी से नहीं लेते थे लोकनाथ गोस्वामी महाराज, किसी से सर्विस नहीं लेते थे, अपना सारा काम खुद करते थे, और उनका कोई permanent residence भी नहीं था. So he noticed he would go early in the morning, stand behind a tree, just to observe उनकी दिनचर्या क्या है. And he noticed that early in the morning, Brahma Muhurt se pehle, he wakes up and he goes to a certain spot in the grove to do his morning ritual. So what he decided is that after Loknath Goswami Maharaj would go and finish his toilet, come back, go for his bath, then meanwhile Narottam Das Thakur would go to that place and clean it very nicely. So this continued secretly without being seen. And then Loknath Goswami, after a few days, he noticed, that ye jagah mujhe hamesha saaf milti hai. And he thought that somebody's, trying to secretly render service to me. I don't want to take anybody's service. Who is that? तो इस बार वो छुपे रात सुबह पेड़ के पीछे just to see, मतलब वो हमेशा अपने जहाँ पे भी टॉयलेट करके आते थे वहां से सीधा नहाने चले जाते थे. So on this particular day he didn't go to bathe. वो दूसरे पेड़ के पीछे छुप गए देखने के लिए कि कौन आ रहा है यहाँ पे सेवा करने के लिए. And sure as day, Narottam Das Thakur came and he cleaned the place very nicely. And as he was leaving, he confronted him. He said, what are you doing? He said, well, Gurudev, I have already given my heart to you. I cannot accept any other spiritual master. 1 saal ho chuka tha. 1 year he was waiting patiently. Hey, maan jaye, maan jaye. And he said, please accept me as your disciple. I have no other intention. So, impressed by his sincere humility, he said, you will be my first and last disciple. So Loknath Goswami Maharaj has only one disciple, Narottam Das Thakur. And it is said that all the Vaishnava bhajans and prayers written by Narottam Das Thakur are like, they are like Shastra. They are like Bhagavatam. One must read and hear his bhajans and go through their translations and recite them if you want to develop love of God and love for your Guru. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Loknath Goswami, by the way, Loknath Goswami, all these acharyas in our parampara are actually coming directly from Golok. And in Krishna Leela, they are actually direct manjaris that are serving the divine couple. So Loknath Goswami is Manjuali or Leela Manjari of the Krishna Leela in Golok Vrindavan, who came as Loknath Goswami. And so he was the first whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after he decided he's going to take sannyas, he summoned Loknath Goswami and told him, I want you to go to Vrindavan. And I want you to re-establish all the places and pastimes of Krishna because they are lost. This is the first service that was given directly by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Loknath Goswami. He was the first amongst all the Goswamis to go. Even before Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami came to Vrindavan, Loknath Goswami was sent. So Bengal se, although he when the moment he learned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to take sannyas, he started crying because he could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the most beautiful hair, thick, dark, curly, silky hair, because he's Krishna and Krishna has beautiful hair and they're wavy. And he knew that if he's going to take sannyas, he's going to shave off all his hair. So he was crying bitterly, that Mahaprabhu, why are you going to take sannyas? On top of that, he was given a service to leave his association and go to Vrindavan. So it was like a extremely austere service for him. And I remember Sarvabhauma Prabhu saying today morning that Vrindavan disappeared from Mathura Vrindavan on our earth twice. It's not that Vrindavan हमेशा था. 2 बार वृंदावन मिट चुका है. पहले जब कृष्ण 5000 पहले after कुरुक्षेत्र का युद्ध होने के बाद, when Lord Krishna decided to wind up his pastimes, go back to Golok, so he took all the gopas and gopis with him back. So again, Vrindavan was a deserted area. It was barren. कुछ भी नहीं बचा था वहाँ पे, because he took everything back with him. And at that time, who re-established Brajdham? Krishna's grandson, Krishna के बेटे का बेटा, Vajranabh. He took it upon Vajranabh. He took it upon himself to re-establish all those Leela Sthalis, all the places where all those pastimes of Krishna happened, of his grandfather. So उन्होंने इसको re-establish किया. And ये भी कुछ decades, 1000 साल चला. उसके बाद again it disappeared when the Mughals came. And India was no longer an independent country and was under the Mughal Raj. I think they were here for 500 years, much more than what the Britishers were here for. And at that time, their only business was to destroy temples and destroy idol worship, any kind of idolatry. So उस समय भी बहुत मंदिर तोड़े गए, बहुत सारे विग्रह या छुपा लिए गए या destroy.
आवाज आ रही है माता जी की?
Destroyed. A lot of those places were destroyed. And 5,000 years के बाद दोबारा से they were re-established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he came again and he instructed, this was the first work he gave all the Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan, Lokanath Goswami, that go and re-establish those places. And they said that हमें तो पता नहीं है कौन सी जगह पे क्या हुआ था. He says, don't worry, I will tell you. I will tell you how to look for them. And it was not easy. मतलब हमें ऐसे नहीं सोचना है कि अच्छा वृंदावन गए, वहां तो उस समय कोई बिल्डिंग्स तो थी नहीं. It was a great jungle, बहुत सारे. And they just went and they saw यहाँ पे कुंड है तो उसको उन्होंने कहा. No, it was completely barren. कोई कुंड नहीं था वहां पे. There was no water. Everything was dry and covered up. So, और बहुत मेहनत से, it was a very austere job, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living and was right there. And उन्होंने बहुत तपस्या की. They would go, Rup and Sanatan and Lokanath Goswami also. They would go to a particular spot and meditate there for months. कड़ी तपस्या करते थे. Then Krishna in their heart would reveal इस जगह पे क्या लीला हुई थी. And then they would write that down and then they would start excavating and digging with the help of the villagers. And then that's how they discovered Radha Kund, Sham Kund, Mansi Ganga, all these Leela Sthalis. उन्होंने हर जगह जाकर तपस्या की कई महीने. And they were able to. So, I mean, we are indebted to these Goswamis, not only for the literature and the books that they gave us, but also for re-establishing Vrindavan as we see it today, because it was completely lost. And Lokanath Goswami, he did not like to be in public. So he would always be in a secluded place. And ज्यादातर वो खदीरा वन में ही रहते थे। वहां पे एक किशोरी कुंड है, किशोरी कुंड के तट पे बैठकर he would perform his bhajan constantly, 22 hours he would do his bhajan. And seeing his completely surrendered mood, Krishna appeared to him personally in the form of a Brahmin, as he always does, Natkhat Lala, Brahman bankar aaye in that secluded forest of Khadiravan. And he put a beautiful deity in the hands of Loknath Goswami. Just a minute. Sorry. So Krishna, the Brahmin appeared to him. There was a very strong desire after doing bhajan for years together. Loknath Swami Maharaj had a strong desire of deity worship, serving Krishna in a deity form. And who but Krishna himself appeared and gave him a gorgeous deity the size of Radharaman and called him Radha Vinod. They are the personal deities of Loknath Swami Maharaj, Radha Vinod. And he put these beautiful deities in his hand and then he disappeared. So, and this deity, as soon as he was put into Loknath Swami Maharaj's hand, the deity started speaking to him. He said, you know, I have been living in this forest, Khadiravan, for a very long time, waiting for you. And I know that you have a desire in your heart to worship me in my deity form. So therefore, I've personally come to you. Now I'm very hungry. Go get me something to eat. How personal is that? It is so sweet, this pastime. As soon as he manifested, and if you see that deity is in Jaipur today. It is so gorgeous. I'll post the pictures in the group. It is so gorgeous. And, you know, the deities reciprocate with you. They respond when you serve them. So he says, I'm very hungry. Please go get me some food. So when Loknath Swami heard this, his heart just flooded with ecstasy. Not only is he getting the Shri Vigraha of the Lord to worship, but the Vigraha is, you know, asking him for food. So immediately he went to the nearby villages and he got grains, fruits by begging. And then he came and cooked a big feast for his deities. And he collected all the flowers around from the Kunj, the forest that he was living in. And he made a bed, small bed of flowers on the ground for the deities, and he put them to rest there, all the time massaging their lotus feet. You can even see the toenails, just massaging their lotus feet. And his eyes were he couldn't see them because he was continuously crying. So he couldn't see what he was doing. And then he would make fans made with leaves and feathers that he could find in the forest, and he would fan him. So in this way, he used to perform loving service to Shri Radha Vinod. And now the question came, villagers said, "हम इनके लिए मंदिर बना देते हैं, हम आपके लिए रहने की कुटिया बना देते हैं." But he was very fixed. नहीं, मुझे किसी एक जगह पे नहीं रहना है. I don't want any what is that, possession. I will stay in different places under a tree. I don't want any belongings. So then what to do? How to serve Radha Vinod? So he came up with this idea. He अपने हाथों से उन्होंने एक cloth bag सिला कपड़े का. उस cloth bag में राधा विनोद को विराजमान किया, and he would tie that cloth bag around his neck and carry him. How difficult that is. He would carry them with him wherever he would go. So this is how he used to take care. जहाँ पे भी विश्राम करते थे, वहीं पे उसी समय भिक्षा मांग के उनके लिए feast बनाते थे. Such was his devotion and surrender to the Lord. And much later, Sanatan Goswami and Rup Goswami then came to Vrindavan. Loknath Goswami already वहाँ पे काफी देर भजन कर चुके थे. And so उन्होंने आकर फिर लोकनाथ गोस्वामी को रिक्वेस्ट किया कि प्लीज आप खदीरा वन से वृंदावन आ जाइए हमारे पास, क्योंकि हम अब यहाँ पे अपना काम शुरू कर रहे हैं for excavating all the Leela Sthalis. So can you please come here? He agreed. So he is Leela Manjari or Manjuali Manjari from Krishna Leela in Golok. And but he performed his Leela of a very humble, sincere and a very dedicated Vaishnava. So he could have lived for years and years with Mahaprabhu in Puri and in Bengal, like his intimate associate. But Mahaprabhu ordered him, no, go and stay in Vrindavan. So he took that bitter service very sincerely to heart and performed it. So this is called Vani Seva, which is more important than Vapu Seva. Staying next to the Lord and massaging him and doing all those activities is fine. But what pleases a guru more is when you follow his Vani, his instructions, and that pleases him more. So there is a very nice Pranam mantra that Narottam Das Thakur has written for him. So it's nice to chant that mantra today. I will post that also in the group, so you can chant that mantra. To glorify, we should glorify Vaishnavas on their appearance day and their disappearance day. Then you get their mercy. And when you get their mercy, then you're able to overcome all the obstacles in your spiritual sadhana, in your spiritual life. So Loknath Goswami, he gave, and in his ripe old age, it is unclear at what age, but he was pretty old. He was very old, and again he was back in Khaira Gaon in Khadiravan, and on the banks of the Kund, in the middle of the night, he passed away. He entered into the eternal pastimes of the Lord. So that Kund next to which he passed away, जब भजन पहले करते थे किशोरी कुंड था, but the Kund next to which he passed away is called Yugal Kund, where he entered into samadhi, और उनकी समाधि भी वही है. So जब कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी चैतन्य चरितामृत लिखना वाले थे, the first person he went to is Loknath Goswami and asked for his blessings so that he can compile Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Loknath Goswami had personally had so much of interaction with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he was the one who told Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami what to write, all the different pastimes about the Lord, उन्होंने क्या किया था, कैसे दिखते हैं. ये सारी बातें लोकनाथ गोस्वामी ने डिस्क्राइब की, लेकिन उन्होंने एक कंडीशन बोली that you will write all this, but you will not mention me anywhere. He shunned attention so much. Said, मेरा नाम नहीं आना चाहिए आपके इस work में. So he prohibited him. Therefore, you don't read his name anywhere. Very briefly, he is mentioned, but he is not mentioned anywhere. Jabki he was the main source behind Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let us all pay our obeisances to Loknath Goswami Maharaj and seek his blessings today. Very exalted Vaishnava. And, ask for his blessings to help us overcome our struggles in our spiritual life. And the best is to ask him for taste in chanting the holy names. So such is the glory of, so incidentally, I'll be going to Jaipur this Saturday, and Radha Vinod Bihari, Radha Vinod is on top of my list. And to see those deities, very, very beautiful, small deities. And इनकी समाधिस भी जरूर one must visit. जैसे Radha Raman, अगर आप visit करें, the visit is incomplete without going and paying your obeisances to. किनके worshipable deities हैं Radha Raman?
Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami.
No, I can't.
Gopal Bhatt Swami.
Sorry, come again.
Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Radha Raman ji.
गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी. अच्छा, मुझे ही आवाज नहीं आ रही. आप मेरी आवाज आ रही है सबको?
हाँ जी.
Sure, what happened? Yeah. So one should go and pay their obeisances to Gopal Bhatt Goswami and do parikrama of his samadhi. That pleases Radharaman. Okay, so coming to Srimad Bhagavatam. So His Holiness
स्वामी महाराज की भी
Loknath Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
और लोकनाथ स्वामी
Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. The only
आवाज आ
disciple
रही
of
है?
Loknath Goswami Maharaj. And
लोकनाथ
please
स्वामी
sing
महाराज की
Loknath,
जो
Narottam Das
हेलो,
Thakur's
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
prayers today.
हमें आ रही है,
Which is
माता जी को नहीं आ
glorified.
हमें आ रही है.
I,
हमें आ रही है.
my God, I can't hear you. Let me leave
Ah.
the meeting and come again.
Meena is trying to say something.
रही. हमें आ रही है मीना, लेकिन माता
हाँ,
जी को नहीं आ
हमें आ रही है. हाँ.
पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है मेरे फोन.
रही. नहीं
नहीं.
तुम्हारा ठीक है.
तुम्हारी ठीक है. माता जी के फोन में कोई प्रॉब्लम है. तुम्हारी फोन ठीक है. हमको आ रही है आवाज तुम्हारी. माता जी को नहीं आ रही है. हम लोग सब तो सुन रहे हैं.
अच्छा, मुझे लगा मुझे मेरी ना कुछ ना आ रही है ना जा रही है.
नहीं,
नहीं आ रही.
Mo? युक्ता?
Radha Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा अनु, कैसे हो?
हरे कृष्णा। ठीक हूँ, बहुत दिन से क्लासेस मिस कर रही थी, बहुत सारा।
हाँ,
हरे कृष्णा अनु वापस आ गई।
हरे कृष्णा, हाँ वापस आ गई।
हरे कृष्णा अनु।
हरे कृष्णा मीना जी, कैसे हो?
मैं ठीक हूँ,
बहुत
आप
दिन
कैसे
बाद देख रहे क्लास में आपको।
हाँ, मैं तो बहुत दिनों बाद, ऑलमोस्ट 1 ईयर हो गया।
लेकिन
हाँ
अच्छा लगता है ना सबको देख के इस क्लास में।
यस यस।
हाँ।
बहुत
Oh.
अच्छा लगा।
Oh my God, I was speaking and मेरा ये off था क्या?
यस माता जी।
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही थी।
माता जी आपकी आप बिल्कुल आवाज नहीं आ रही थी,
We were
थोड़ी सी भी
wondering
नहीं।
कि
तो
हाँ,
I-
हाँ,
आप
ठीक है।
म्यूट पे थे, आप ऑलरेडी म्यूट पे थे, हमें लगा कि कुछ कनेक्टिविटी
No,
प्रॉब्लम
and मुझे doubt तब हुआ when I'm reading the verse and everybody saying hello to each other and I'm wondering what's going on. And then I realized that I don't even exist here. मैंने 1.5.18 पूरा भी रिवाइज कर लिया without realizing कि मैं
Oh my God.
and I also said that how come सबके cameras off है? Oh, I can see only one person.
कौन था माता जी?
Okay, so 1.5.18. Does anyone remember what we did last? If you want to go through your notes.
थोड़ा सा, थोड़ा, I
Yes,
think.
yes, Anjali, please.
Every man is busy doing something or the other. We are all engaged in fruitive work. We are all trying excessively to achieve something which was not destined for you. Matlab, we are putting in so much effort for something which was not meant to be ours, but we are putting in excessive effort. Whereas we should realize that time is the real wealth and hence should not be wasted. Hence, we must give up all our wasteful activities and focus only on devotional service.
Nice, very nice.
कौन सा श्लोक है अंजलि?
1.5.18.
5:18.
Okay.
Anyone else? So this the summary of this verse is that especially if you have been given intelligence by the Lord. भगवान ने बुद्धि दी है और अगर आप philosophical bent of mind के हैं, जो कि आप सब हैं, otherwise आप भागवतम पढ़ने नहीं बैठे होते, आपका अगर philosophy में interest नहीं होता, तो ये दोनों qualities आप सब में हैं, 100% आप सब में हैं, that not only are you more intelligent than the rest of the people, we are talking about spiritual intelligence is higher than ordinary intelligence. So not only are you intelligent, but you're also philosophically inclined. So he's saying here that if you have these two qualities, you should put all your effort only for obtaining that which is permanent. Do not put your mind, effort, and energy running after goals that are temporary. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's mean we should endeavor go back to go ahead.
Yes, that should be your only goal. सारा effort उस direction में लगना चाहिए. What can I do? How can I use my time to go back home, back to Godhead? Not to go back to my kitchen, back to dinner. Or let me go back to my office, back to my whatever trimester goal. these things ये भी कह रहे हैं, as far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, all this is sense enjoyment. It can automatically be obtained. This will come to you, just as miseries come to you without planning. उसी तरह happiness will also come to you without planning. उसके लिए आपको effort नहीं करना पड़ेगा. केवल और केवल effort आपको करना है to go back home, back to. That was the gist of this. For those who are intelligent and philosophically inclined, which you are, Krishna already knows that. So now, are you taking the next step? Okay, let's come to the next verse, 1.5.19. Anu? न वै जनो जातु
न वै जनो जातु
तथा
कथा
कथान चनाव्रजेन
कथञ्चनाव्रजे
कथञ्चनाव्रजेन या
कथञ्चनाव्रजे
मुकुंद सेवी अन्यवाद
न मुकुन्द सेव्यन्य वदङ्गस
नो अन्यवाद
अन्यवन्
अंग संस्कृतिम
संस्कृतिम्
स्मरन मुकुंदंग्री. It's a tongue twister today.
Yeah. स्मरन् मुकुन्दङ्घ्रे
उपघ्नम पुनर्
उपाघुनं पुनर्
विहातु निच्छेन न
विहातुमिच्छेन न
रसग्रहो जनः.
रसग्रहो जनः. May I read the translation?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. My dear Vyas, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruitive workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again.
So I think you all are very fortunate today that all those who are present today are getting to read this verse, because it's going to fill you not only with a lot of enthusiasm, but also with a lot of hope. Realistic hope, not some unrealistic sentimental hope. And you will know exactly your position as a devotee, where you stand as a devotee compared to all the people, all the non-devotees. A very, very nice purport given by Prabhupada. So, who is saying this? My dear Vyas. Who is saying?
Narad Muni.
Narad Muni.
Who is Narad Muni?
He's Vyasdev's guru.
Yeah, spiritual master. So the guru is instructing the disciple. Yeah, what is he saying? That a devotee of Krishna does not undergo material existence like the others. So let us see how. Because संसार में हम भी हैं, non-devotees भी हैं. मृत्यु हमारी भी हो रही है, उनकी भी हो रही है. दुख हमें भी आता है, उन्हें भी आता है. Disease हमें भी आती है, उन्हें भी आती है. बुढ़ापा हमें भी आता है, उन्हें भी आता है. तो फिर how come we are different? In what way are the devotees of the Lord different? That will be explained here. And it's very important that all of us read this verse once a week, at least, to remind us of this fact. Okay? So, does anybody want to read? Anu. Okay, Anu. Anji.
Hare Krishna. A devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material existence because he is rasagraha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. I'll read this line again. It is very beautiful. A devotee of
Yes.
the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material existence because he is Rasagraha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. There are certainly many instances where devotees of the Lord have fallen down due to uncongenial association, just like fruitive workers, who are always prone to degradation. But even though he falls down, a devotee is never to be considered the same as a fallen karmi. A karmi suffers the result of his own fruitive reactions, whereas a devotee is reformed by chastisement directed by the Lord himself.
Okay, let's stop here. What have we understood? Quickly. Who wants to volunteer? हाँ जी अर्चना, आपने हाथ ऊपर किया, बताइए ना. नहीं, अच्छा. Okay. Who else? Yes, Meena. Mohini Sundari. Yes, sorry, Vinti, you were saying something?
Hare Krishna. I am reminded of Ajamil.
Uh-huh.
Life is a perfect example, I think, here. He had fallen, he was a devotee, but then he came in the company of a prostitute, and he went wayward, that is, he left all his whatever austerities he used to do earlier, bhakti used to do, but at the end, by just it was again the kripa that some ascetics came to his house and he asked him to name his son as Narayan, and so again he was saved from, and at the last moment, at the time of his death, he was calling out his son, but because he was calling out Narayan, so he was saved from Yam Dutas and विष्णु तुटा. सो आई थिंक ये परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल मुझे लग रहा है ये कि एक डेवोटी अगर भटक भी गया तो उसको कहीं ना कहीं फिर संभाल ही लेते हैं.
Yes, very quickly you were able to think of that. Yes. Mohini Sundari, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
आप क्या पूछ रहे थे माता जी? आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था? मेरे दिमाग से निकल गया, सॉरी.
अच्छा, क्वेश्चन ही निकला. What about this? जो भी आपने पढ़ा है, क्या समझ में आया?
इसमें यही है कि जब when we take shelter of the supreme God, तो कभी कभी ऐसी माया रहती है कि we can fall down, लेकिन once we have tasted the nectar of serving the supreme master, so if we even fall down, तो हमारे को जो दंड मिलेगा, जो भी दंड मिला, तो वो एक भगवान की तरफ से हमारे को सुधरने का मौका है. लेकिन जो नॉन कर्मीज हैं, उनको जो दंड मिलता है, क्योंकि वो मटेरियलिस्टिक है, तो उनको मटेरियली दंड मिलता है, तो मतलब उनको यमराज का दंड मिलेगा और हमें भगवान सुधरने का मौका देंगे.
Yes. Isn't that a very big difference? One is under the whip of Yamraj, another is under the whip of Krishna. Which, under whose whip would you like to be?
कृष्णा.
Yes, किसी और ने कुछ कहना? Let's continue. There are lots of more pearls in आगे पढ़िए.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada has given a very beautiful example by saying, the sufferings of an orphan and the sufferings of a beloved child of a king are not one and the same. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him. But a beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be on the same level as the orphan, is always under the vigilance of his capable father. A devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruitive workers. The fruitive workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange of devotional service. such special favor, he may remove all material paraphernalia. By such action, the bewildered devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives, and so he comes to his senses again by the mercy of the Lord and is set right to execute his devotional service.
Jai.
May I continue?
So, anybody wants to say anything? What is the takeaway from this? Any line that struck them?
The line which actually touched the chord of my heart is, although the son of a rich man would be actually at the same footage as the orphan, but there is someone, the hand of a capable father is there to hold him and to save him from falling down. Just as a person in devotional service, even if he falls down, we have our capable father as Lord Krishna to hold our hand and pull us back from that illusion or material contamination.
Absolutely.
And bring us back to the
Under
devotional
the
service.
eye of a watchful father, being the Lord.
Yes. Whereas
Yes.
non-devotees have no one looking over them.
Hmm.
No one but Yamraj. Such a very scary position, is it not? So, yes, I just love this line, Prabhupada. You know that अनाथ तो हम सब हैं यहाँ पर. जिसने अब नाथ को की शरण नहीं ली वो अनाथ है ना. जिसने सुप्रीम नाथ की शरण नहीं ली वो अनाथ है. और नाथ तो सभी हैं. लेकिन जैसे just like an orphan is really poor in what way? Not just for the needs of the body, but even for his emotional security and for his guidance. There's no one to guide him. है ना. तो उसी तरह जब जिंदगी के थपेड़े devotees को भी पढ़ते हैं, difference between them and the non-devotees is that they have a father who has sent them out this punishment for a purpose, and he is watching them and guiding them to come back to him. There's a big difference. That's planned to bring him back home, back to Godhead. Whereas for an orphan, he's going to suffer that misery, and at the end of his life, he's again not going home back to Godhead, but back to 84 ka chakkar. So, it's a very, 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 very dangerous position to be in. Not to take the shelter of Krishna, isn't it? One has to think about it. Okay, let's continue.
मुझे इसमें ये पॉइंट भी बहुत अच्छा लगा कि when devotee is accumulating wealth and the Lord himself put him in a difficulty, and as a special favor he may remove all material paraphernalia. अगर उसका सब कुछ भी लॉस हो जाए then वो सेंसेस में आ जाता है कि ओ मैं कहाँ चला गया, तो भगवान उसकी ये भी फेवर करती है कि सब कुछ ले लिया उसका.
Yes, ये भी फेवर है.
Yes.
And not only सब कुछ ले लिया, सभी फ्रेंड्स ने, रिश्तेदारों ने, फैमिली ने, बीवी बच्चे भी छोड़ देते हैं कई बार.
छोड़ देते हैं. Yes.
तुम तो कंगले हो गए हो, मुझे अब तुम्हारा कोई काम नहीं है. Out. This is a favor.
ये फेवर है. This is favor.
This is a favor. He comes to his senses. It's like a slap.
Many times we listen the example of this dog with a belt, pet dog with
Yes.
a belt.
Yes. मतलब
Yeah,
पालतू
street
कुत्ते और स्ट्रीट डॉग में जो फर्क है यही है. डॉग्स तो सारे ही हैं, बट
हाँ.
स्टिल जिसके गले में पट्टा है मतलब ओनर उसका ध्यान रख रहा है, उसको ढूंढने भी निकला है और ढूंढ के उसको घर भी ले आएगा. लेकिन जो स्ट्रीट डॉग है उसके लिए कोई नहीं आने वाला. So it's better to wear patta saying that I am his dog. This is much more valuable than any diamond necklace or a gold necklace or even a Chintamani necklace. Isn't it?
Yes,
It's a
then
basic,
there are many advantages of becoming a devotee. Krishna is taking care of us himself.
Yes. Yes. So one should quickly take the shelter of a guru.
Yeah, once we
Guru
wear
ke
this,
bila nahi milte.
yeah, once we wear this belt in our neck, तो हम ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो जाते हैं कि whether I'm pleasing Krishna or no, whether I'm pleasing my guru or no, whether I'm pleasing my other Vaishnava devotees or no. So we become more and more responsible.
Absolutely. Okay. Next para कौन पढ़ेगा? Any volunteers? Anjali? Who's
Anjali.
who is there?
Shall I?
Yes.
In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that such fallen devotees are given a chance to take birth in a family of highly qualified brahmanas or in a rich mercantile family. A devotee in such a position is not as fortunate as one who is chastised by the Lord and put into a position seemingly of helplessness. The devotee who becomes helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. The fallen devotees born in a good family may forget the lotus feet of the Lord because they are less fortunate. But the devotee who is put into a forlorn condition is more fortunate because he swiftly returns to the lotus feet of the Lord, thinking himself helpless all around.
Jai. How wonderful is that? Anybody wants to share anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji, this reminds me of a famous saying by Kunti Maharani that she always used to say, Krishna, give me more and more pain so that I always remember you.
Yes.
Don't give me comfortable life. So this connected me to that thought of hers.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very apt example. Anything else that appealed to you? That what is your takeaway?
Like in material world, we think ourselves lucky when we get something, but it's the opposite. For devotion, it's the opposite. We are lucky when we are in a miserable condition, which we don't like to be in. We always avoid miseries. We want to just be in a goody condition.
So what is the danger of being in a goody condition?
That we may tend to forget the Lord.
We may tend to forget the Lord. We may
You
forget
become-
Krishna because
You become comfortable. Kripa hai Bhagwan
Yes.
ki. हमारा
Comfort
इतना
zone
बड़ा
में
बल्ला हो गया.
comfort zone आ जाता है, then why do you need the Lord?
Why
We
do you
start
need
getting
Yes. Stop working. But if you are already in distress, you cannot forget him. And you are going to, chant with more sincerity, with more effort from your heart. And that's going to bring you so much more closer to him. Luxury yogi, so you will be like coming
वो
much
है ना
closer.
दुख में स्मरण करे सब अगर सुख
में करे ना कोई.
सुख में तो दुख काहे को होए.
जो सुख में सुमिरन करे. Yes, absolutely. ये सब शास्त्र से ही तो बने हैं, folklore. और किससे बने? Nice. Thank you. Okay, last para. Who wants to read? कोई नहीं सुन रहा.
मैं पढ़ दूं माता जी लास्ट पैराग्राफ.
हाँ पढ़िए.
Pure devotional service is so spiritually relishable that a devotee becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. That is the sign of perfection in progressive devotional service. A pure devotee continuously remembers the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and does not forget him, even for a moment, and not even in exchange for all the opulence of the three worlds.
Right. This attachment or this attraction to the enjoyment of this material world नहीं जा सकती. Artificially नहीं ला सकते इसको, निकाल सकते. अटैचमेंट तभी जाएगी जब इस अटैचमेंट को आप किसी और चीज में लगाओगे, तभी अटैचमेंट यहाँ से जाएगी। अगर उसको यहाँ से निकाल के सिर्फ बैठ कर ये बोलोगे नहीं मुझे अटैचमेंट नहीं करनी है, दैट वोंट हैपन, दैट वोंट, इट डजंट वर्क दैट वे। यू हैव टू गिव इट एन अल्टरनेटिव एंगेजमेंट।
Like you used
जैसे
to
माँ
say that बच्चे को, हाँ,
हाँ, जैसे बच्चा जब जिद करता है तो माँ सिर्फ ये नहीं बोल सकती बैठ जाओ चुपचाप, नहीं, उसको कुछ और एंगेजमेंट देनी है, तब वो चुपचाप बैठेगा। Not that you expect him, because the senses, the mind are eternally active.
Yes.
They can never calm down. You have to just give them engagement. Yes, आप कह रहे थे कुछ, अर्चना बताइए।
धन्यवाद, प्रणाम माता जी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो आज काफी दिनों के बाद मैंने क्लास अटेंड की है, तो इतनी अच्छी बातें मुझे सुनने को मिली, इसके लिए तो सब ये वैष्णव को मेरा दंडवत प्रणाम। अभी आपने यहाँ पे जो लिखा है कि मिस मेरे पास मराठी है, इंग्लिश नहीं है, कि प्रगतिशील भक्ति से मतलब हम लोग को जो भक्ति करनी है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम रात को सोते समय, मैंने जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस में बता रही हूँ, रात को सोते समय अगर हम हरे कृष्ण का महामंत्र नहीं तो एक यहाँ पे श्लोक है, कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणत क्लेश नाशाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ये श्लोक अगर हम रटते रटते सो जाए ना, तो सुबह अगर हम उठेंगे तो वही श्लोक अपने मुंह में रहेगा, अपने दिमाग में वही दिन भर चलता रहेगा। क्योंकि यहाँ पर लिखा है कि शुद्ध भक्त जो रहता है उसको भगवान के चरण कमल का आश्रय लेना बहुत जरूरी है, राइट। तो मेरे साथ एक बात हुई, मैं तुलसी महारानी की हमेशा पूजा करती हूँ, प्यार से करती हूँ, तुलसी की आरती एकदम प्यार से गाती हूँ, जैसे कि मेरे आंख में आंसू आते हैं वो आरती गाते समय। तो मैंने तुलसी माता जी को ये बोला कि हे तुलसी माता के मुझे ऐसा कुछ करो कि मुझे कृष्ण के और नजदीक आने को मिले, ऐसा कुछ, एनीथिंग यू कैन डू। सो ऐसे हुआ कि हम पुणे शिफ्ट हो गए, और अभी मैं जहाँ रह रही हूँ वहां से जो इसका कात्रज का जो कृष्ण का मंदिर है, भगवान कृष्ण का, वो सबसे नजदीक है इस्कॉन का मंदिर, विद इन 50 मिनट्स। एनवीसीसी, राइट, एनवीसीसी, जहाँ पे काफी अच्छे डिवोटीज आके और अच्छे गुरु आके पे वो लोग सब ये लेक्चर सब देते हैं, तो वो मैं काफी नजदीक आई। लेकिन मैं ये इस चीज के लिए बोल रही हूँ कि अगर हम तुलसी रानी का अगर हम अच्छी तरह से उसको सर्व करें ना, तो डेफिनेटली वो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा कृष्ण के पास लेके जाती है। ये मेरे साथ हुआ एग्जाम्पल है। और यहाँ पे जो लिखा है सेकंड लास्ट लाइन कि उनको मीन्स क्षण भर पर विसर पड़त नहीं, मीन्स हम भगवान के चरण कमल को कभी नहीं भूल सकते अगर हम डेली यही सोचते रहे। जैसे कि मॉर्निंग उठते हैं और रात को सोते समय भी अगर हम पूरा अपना जो कर्म है वो कृष्ण के में समर्पित करते हैं और सोते हैं, तो वो सब चीजें अपने साथ में ही होती है। मतलब जैसे कि अच्छी चीजें होने लगते हैं कि हम भगवान को कभी भूल नहीं सकते, ये मैं गलत कर रही हूँ, ये मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए, ये हमेशा याद आता है। और यहाँ पे एक लाइन भी ऐसी है कि हम धीरे धीरे भौतिक चीज जो मटेरियलिस्टिक थिंग्स है वो बाजू में रखते जाते हैं। जैसे मैं अभी जाती हूँ मॉल में सब, लेकिन मुझे कुछ पहले मैं बहुत शॉपिंग करती थी, ये खरीदू वो खरीदू, ये ड्रेस वो ड्रेस, अभी मुझे इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं, मिस ठीक है चलो। पर मैं भगवान कृष्ण के जब मैं मंदिर में जाती हूँ इस्कॉन में, तभी मैं खुद को अच्छी तरह से बन ठन के जाती हूँ, कान का पहनती हूँ। मैं बोला अरे भगवान तो मुझे देखने वाला है कि अर्चना कैसे बन के आने वाली। अगर हमें को रिलेट करे एवरी मोमेंट और मीन्स अपने लाइफ में अगर भगवान कृष्ण को इस तरह से हम रखे ना, तो हम उसे कभी भूल नहीं सकते। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू अर्चना, बहुत दिनों बाद आए और बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें सुनाई आपके सबको। आई थिंक सभी ने एंजॉय किया आपकी पर्सनल रियलाइजेशन, थैंक यू सो मच। और ये बिल्कुल सही है, भगवान के भक्तों से अगर आप मांगते हो कि हमें किसी तरह गोविंद के थोड़ा नजदीक कीजिए, तो वो ज्यादा हेल्प करते हैं rather than directly approaching Govind. So it's a very good reminder कि हम तुलसी महारानी की सेवा करें। कल ही मैं वृंदावन से वापस आई हूँ और वहां पे एक I learned two things. We all know that तुलसी महारानी की परमिशन के बगैर nobody can enter ब्रज धाम, वृंदा देवी के बगैर। But there is one more entity, Gopeshwar Mahadev. Even without his permission, nobody can enter. So you need the permission of both Gopeshwar Mahadev and Vrinda Devi. It's a good idea to pray to both every day so that they can take you closer to serving Krishna. You know? Okay, next verse. It's 1.5.20. Oh, it's already 5 o'clock. Should we take the next verse or shall we close? Depending on whatever time.
5:15 it is. It's a long one.
Acha, so band kare? We can just share our whatever because we've left, come after such a long time.
इतने दिनों बाद we had the class and of all the days such a wonderful